How's your night? Do you need a new one?
I challenge every single one of you white knights to a duel.
Hello everyone, this is Chivalry Knight. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
Oh, just look at those men of steel. Look at them. You'd date them, wouldn't you, ladies? Over the Black Knight himself, even?
Hello, I am Santiago, the warrior priest.
Already you've got your history wrong and you call yourself a knight? Hell no, you're just a simple pleb like the others. Look, there was no such thing as warrior priests in medieval Europe. Priests were strictly forbidden from fighting. They were not allowed. Now, of course, there were some people who denied these rules and went off and fought. Case in point, there was a bishop in England who fought the Scots at a battle, which I forgot what its name was. But the Templars and the Hospitallers and the Teutonic Knights were not priests. They were never ordained. They took vows that monks take, but they were never ordained as priests. So you could not possibly be a warrior priest. You would not be allowed to wear that. You would in fact be left out of the room. Like, who is this guy? Get out of here.
I am Don Temple of Leon.
Hang on a sec, you're not from Spain. Get out of here.
I am Del Mal of Valiente.
And you're certainly not from Europe either. Why, it's simple. You ask them out on a date.
I court a lady with respect and with patience.
No, that's not how you court a lady, that's how you talk to a lady, because my god do you need patience.
A knight always has respect, doesn't rush anything.
Unless it's a cavalry charge, straight through a line of plebs, yeah, definitely. Because knights were beautiful men who just loved everyone and everything. They totally weren't killing women and children who were not rich people, just saying.
And really lives by the code of chivalry.
Which was basically a warrior code like Bushido. It had nothing to do really with dating or etiquette with ladies, although there was some things about how to treat the ladies, but that was only in times of war, not actually peacetime.
How I would court ladies first, I would meet their mother or their father.
Why? So you can get the blessings or the bloody court papers ready to say that yes, this man can date this woman. Just wondering, because you don't need to meet her parents straight away in order to date her and court her. What the hell? What the hell?
And ask if I take their princess out.
Really? You, a man who is 10 years older than me, or at least a couple years older than me, has to ask a woman's parents permission to date her? A woman's parents. You're making her sound like she's a 16-year-old or something. Like you have to ask them. When you're both adults, you do not need anyone's blessings or permission to date. I'm sorry, but none of you Americans can truly be considered knights because you're American. Oh, and surely the ideal first date, even though they never really dated that much back then, it was courting and then there was an arranged marriage because, you know, they married for money, not necessarily for love. Firstly, she would have to be of noble birth, royal, obviously, although they don't have to be royal, they can be noble, have lots of money, and there has to be some land or power or something that is gained in this marriage. Also, she must be fertile, and he also has to be fertile, so that they can have kids and continue the lineage.
An ideal first date for a knight would be a humongous meal, maybe in a meadow or by a pond.
Oh, do you mean where they would go for their date? Oh, right, I see. I thought you meant your date as in what would she look like? What would she be? They didn't really date like that back then. There were things like taverns and they would have meals at their houses in castles, etc, etc. They wouldn't have to go out into the fields because I don't think that's what they would do. Maybe a peasant would do that, but even then they could just go to the tavern and have a meal. I don't know, but this is just totally not what a knight would do in real life.
It might involve some type of tournament, perhaps a chicken feast where other knights might be fighting and there would be jousting and horseback fighting.
I don't think even a woman back then would appreciate you getting your ass kicked in a fight. It's a fight. It's martial arts. People got hurt. People got killed during those bloody tournaments. I don't think that would be a particularly good date for her to see her spouse get brutally injured, which he might not even survive anyway. Oh my god, you idiots. Well, considering holding a door is sexist nowadays, yes. Oh, and by the way, we don't even follow the chivalric code anymore. We haven't since the 1400s. Hell, maybe even earlier, because the English longbowmen, and the Welsh ones, but whatever, they're Welsh, shot all those knights during those 3 massive battles, although not necessarily the only massive battles, but the 3 massive battles in which they became famous, Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt. They shot down thousands and thousands of French knights, thus ending chivalry, because why give them mercy when they won't give you mercy? Just saying.
Chivalry is dying, but not dead.
Well, considering holding a door is sexist nowadays, yes. Oh, and by the way, we don't even follow the chivalric code anymore. We haven't since the 1400s. Hell, maybe even earlier, because the English longbowmen, and the Welsh ones, but whatever, they're Welsh, shot all those knights during those 3 massive battles, although not necessarily the only massive battles, but the 3 massive battles in which they became famous, Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt. They shot down thousands and thousands of French knights, thus ending chivalry, because why give them mercy when they won't give you mercy? Just saying.
It's up to the individual knight and the knight of today to bring a revival in chivalry and treat women with the respect they deserve.
Actually, respect is earned, not deserved or given. I think you mean just be courteous to these people. I think that's what you really mean. It's a shame that it never goes the other way, but oh well. Don't talk about yourself, let her talk about herself, and be nice to him, listen to him. Although you don't have to listen to him, just make sure that you look like you're listening to them. And don't be an idiot, don't do shit they don't want you to do, because, you know, sometimes that can rub the wrong way. And just be relaxed, make sure both of you have a good time.
Do not force dating and really do not rush it. Just let it happen. Don't go out looking for anything, because you might just pick something that you shouldn't have picked.
That's kind of impossible to know, really. I mean, how are you supposed to know that this person is the right person for you without at least trying, you know? It might turn out a year or 2, or however long it takes, that they're not the right one for you, and then you're in shit. The first date isn't necessarily going to be the deciding factor.
Always to be respect your princess, no matter what. Treat her like you would treat your queen.
I'm sorry, but what if she says something that's really wrong, that offends you, or she does something to somebody that you don't like? Let's say she's nasty to someone, or she says something nasty, or she does something nasty, not necessarily to anyone. What if it's something you don't like? Do you have to respect that? I don't think there's things that you have to respect. I think respecting her blindly is the wrong thing to do, in my opinion.
Treat your princess as you would want to be treated.
The golden rule. Nothing really. I agree with that. It's a shame that you guys didn't really say that at the beginning, as is usually the case with BuzzFeed videos. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny to treat someone the way you would treat them, because they're not going to treat you that way anyway, are they? Oh, I'm joking, of course. But hey, that's BuzzFeed for you. I thought I'd take the piss out of this. Plus, it was quick to do. I have jobs to do. See you later. United rhythm in my home, and every